Let's go to our next guest. Joining us right now, patiently waiting via the magic of FaceTime. There he is, the California dad himself, Urijah Faber. I'm sure you haven't heard that one before, right, Urijah?
No, not yet. What's up, Joe?
Oh, man. Thank you, Urijah.
I'm Ariel. Sorry, my bad.
How, Mazel
That was
tov.
awesome.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
What is it like?
Man, it's been awesome. It's been a trip, man. I haven't really felt this before. Obviously, I'm an older dad, which is awesome, even though I feel super young. And it feels like I've been doing it forever. It feels like it's supernatural, and the baby's always been here. Baby Callie Rain, for those who don't know, baby girl, super healthy and beautiful. We've been having a lot of fun with it. It's cool, man. It's a lot of fun, and I think I'm getting spoiled, to be honest, because from what I've heard horror stories, my baby is like the easiest baby. She's, sleeps through the night. She doesn't cry much. She's awake. She's just looking around. She's been laughing and smiling a lot. It's pretty crazy, man. I'm super pumped to be here and looking forward to having some more kids.
Wow, so beautiful. And I saw her on your Instagram laughing at your jokes yesterday. That's wild.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, I was a human development major, so I know she wasn't really laughing at my jokes, but it sure seemed like it, right? I think smiles and laughs like that are like for drawing attachment from adults and from parents, so that you want to care for the kid more and put up with them puking all over you and all that good stuff. So, it's pretty crazy, man, to see this whole little life that's half you.
Did you always want to be a dad, or is this something that later in life you wanted to do?
I've always wanted to be a dad. When I have my goals set and my long-term goal, that was always a big one, which was have a healthy and beautiful family. And just that's part of the reason why I retired in the first place. Was there were some things that I knew I would not be able to do, because I just know myself. I'm an all-in kind of person, that I knew I would not be able to do unless I stopped the grind, traveling all over the world and focusing on myself, finding the right girl and having, the intention of starting a family on top of some other things. I just wasn't be able to do it. And that's the reason why I waited so long, even though it was a big priority for me. And luckily I'm a late developer in a bunch of different senses. I feel great. This is the best I've felt in a long time, getting ready for this big competition coming up and have this new motivation. It's a different kind of motivation, it's hard to describe, and parents out there understand it, I'm sure, but it's exciting, man. It's a good time for me.
The competition you're referring to is you versus Nikki Ryan, right? In Polaris. That's coming
right
up. What's the date? When is it?
May 25th and May 26th in the UK.
That's right. And Nikki Ryan, for those that don't know, is a teenage BJJ phenom. So this is a fascinating matchup between at that point you will be 40, right? And you're competing against a teenager, and so this has you very excited. This has you motivated, in addition to being a dad.
Yeah, I mean it's one thing, and this is my third competition so far. As a guy that's retired, I'm in there going hard with the guys. I really, because I do it right now for leisure, I've been going 3 days a week really hard just on my jiu-jitsu, just because that's what I enjoy to do. That's my favorite way to work out. And I've actually, being retired, when you're not working out all day, I've had to be more mindful of my fitness and my diet and stuff like that. I've got RP periodization, which is like a host of it. There's like 10 doctors at my disposal that help me come up with a workout plan, and I'm about to change that up actually now that I'm thinking about competing. And Trifecta Nutrition, that's the big sponsor for the UFC that provides all the meals delivered to your doorstep, organic, and I've got Purist Labs. So I've been tinkering with all that stuff, and I actually feel amazing on top of being a lot heavier than I was during my fight career. Not that much heavier. I think I got up to 165 at one point, which is big for me, and now I'm probably back down to 158, 160. But it's been trip, man. It's a whole different mentality.
Wait a second. You said something there, and then you sort of glossed over it. You said you might have to change that up now that you're thinking about competing. What do you mean, thinking about competing? Competing where?
Oh, well, first off, I am for sure competing in Polaris.
Right.
That's the the grappling match. But I've been teetering with, and it started back last year. I got offered 2 fights by the UFC. Shelby called me, and I don't like to half-ass things. I don't like to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so I got offered 2 fights. One was on 3 weeks' notice to fight in China against Cub Swanson at 145, and then another one to be the guy that steps in against Korean Zombie on 2 weeks' notice. And for me, I was just so tempted to hop in there because I've been feeling great in practice. I actually feel the rest has been like a rejuvenating rest. I feel like my body feels amazing. My head feels clear. But I don't like to be doing things on a whim. So I have actually been thinking about stepping back in there. There's a lot of things that are going on, in the division. There's a lot of things going on in my career, and being able to step back and see why I was able to be a top competitor for 12 years was part of it. You see the, not having distractions and being able to stay consistent and being mentally strong, and then having some natural gifts and that kind of stuff. And then I had a couple of conversations that really just tweaked the way I was thinking. One, my longtime Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, Fabio Prado, brought in Murilo Bustamante, who's a legend of the sport, fought with the top guys until he's about 45. And I got to spend a couple of days with him, and he was talking about, why he feels like he was so successful into older age. And he attributed it to being a natural athlete. He looked amazing. I think he was 51 or so, maybe a little bit older. And he looked incredible, and he attributed to that. He saw a lot of people throughout time that were doing PEDs and just doing things the wrong way, cheating the system. I know there's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of opportunities, and guys are doing these things that are they're the easy way to advance, but it can be hard on your body. And so he talked about how his longevity was because he was a natural athlete, and everybody knows I'm in that boat. I talked to Roy Jones Jr., who's my favorite fighter of all time, and I've got to create a great friendship with him. He's still competing into his 50s. I think he's maybe going to be fighting Vitor Belfort here coming up, which is crazy, in ONE FC. But he was another guy that was all natural, no PEDs, and just great genetics, great regimen, great focus, and lastly, there's a guy named Iron Cowboy. And if you don't know who Iron Cowboy is, he's his story is he's one of the most decorated and maybe impressive athletes of all time. He's done this 50 for 50 Ironman, 50 states, and 50 consecutive days, and now he's doing a 7-continent challenge, and he's in his early 40s. And I got to speak with him a couple different times, talk about a couple of different parts of his life. It's been motivating, with the baby in my life, with the rejuvenation of my body, and seeing why I stood out for so long. It's just really, really tempting, and I'm going to take this time to prepare for this May 26th matchup with one of the best jiu-jitsu players on the planet to get my body into shape, and then I'm going to continue with that and get my body back into a weapon and look for an opportunity to possibly step in if there's something that makes sense, or if there's the right opportunity. And we'll see if it's 45s or 35s. I would think it's probably going to be 35s, but I'm excited, man. My little baby Callie's got me motivated, and I've been feeling amazing. So it's kind of a trip.
This is something else. Uriah, I wanted to have you on talk about fatherhood. Eventually, I was going to ask you about TJ. Didn't necessarily expect this. We'll get to TJ in a second, I promise. But wow. So it sounds to me like you are strongly considering a comeback. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, it's absolutely, and it's funny because I decided this, and again, it's been these little incremental things, and the reason why I retired in the first place was just because I wanted to. It wasn't because I was, breaking down or anything like that. It was just a feeling that I had, and that's kind of the same reason why I'm considering coming back. I've just been wanting to, and I started thinking about this, and I verbalized it to my some of my best friends and some of my teammates, and the next day, Conor McGregor tweets out, and I'm at the grocery store, and the guy said, "Hey man, I just wanted to ask you something." I was at the co-op. He's like, I was looking at my Twitter feed, and I saw that Conor McGregor tweeted out Urijah Faber versus TJ Dillashaw, and then at Mystic Mac, which is crazy. That guy always is like, he is maybe a psychic. I don't know what he's thinking, and I don't know if that's the matchup that'll happen necessarily, but he puts it out with his Mystic Mac at mention, and it was just tripping me out, man. The guy's he's on a different level.
Listen, if Conor says it's going to happen, that means it's going to happen. That's the one thing we've learned over the last few years.
That guy's a strange. It was a gypsy. I don't know what it is.
Wait, so let me ask you. So obviously we heard about TJ. He's no longer the champion. He's suspended for a year. Is that the fight to come back to? Is that the fight that you want?
You know, it's not necessarily like the fight that I was considering, and I didn't know that he was going to be suspended when I started thinking about this. Obviously,
right.
Those are the fights that matter. Part of the reason that I was also skeptical about continuing to compete is because I've heard a lot about what the guys that are cheating are doing. And it's pretty obvious that, unfortunately, USADA isn't able to catch it all, or WADA, or whoever's doing the stuff. And you don't have to be a genius to see the change in somebody's body. If you look at somebody's body, you know, when they're a young man, 25, 26 years old, who are driven and focused and putting everything into being the best, and it looks a certain way, that's about the age where you should look great. And I can show you a picture of me at 26 or 27. It's pretty impressive. And then you look back to about 30, 31, and these things change and the body changes. And then you start hearing, you know, as TJ left our camp, it was like slowly people would tell me different things that were happening. It's never been my place to like say, you know, blow someone out of the water or be a rat or anything like that. I was just shocked because I don't know how these athletes are doing what they're doing. And I understand, yeah, there's a lot at stake, a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of fame. Unfortunately, you can gain a lot, but there's long-term health effects. That's one. It's not fair. That's two. And number three, it's just, I mean, it's not something you can be proud of. And at the end of the day, I've always been able to hold my head high and know the way I have accomplished my career, and look back and see the way I approach things, and know that I was a clean athlete, and know that I preached to be a clean athlete, and I know that my team and everybody that knows me understands it. And you know, it sucks to see people that are cheating the system, but it also sucks to see you know, them reaping huge benefits because of it when you're not the one doing it. So I don't know. I know you're going to ask me about TJ. I don't know what he actually got busted for. I don't check on those details and whatnot. Do you have any insight on that?
No, we don't know. They haven't announced it yet. He didn't announce it. All we know, at least as of right now, that he is suspended a year by New York. We don't know if USADA is going to suspend him as well, and that he was fined $10,000, and of course that he gave up the title. Could I ask, were you surprised when you heard that something tested positive? Like, we don't know what it was. We don't know if it was a diuretic, a steroid, but were you surprised when you heard about this?
I've been surprised for 6 years that nothing's been found.
For TJ in particular, or in general?
Yeah, with TJ, I would say. Okay. Other people in particular. So I don't know. I would like to hear what they actually caught him on. I doubt it's anything that I've heard of that people have accused of or anything. There's this kid in the gym. I don't know if TJ did him wrong or the friendship was out, and he's kind of a strange cat. He's a cyclist kid, like Logan Louder or something like that. And he tried to tell me a bunch of stuff. Him and TJ were real tight, and TJ had brought him in the gym, and I just stopped him, and I just said, "Look, bro, I'm not interested. I don't want to know. I don't want to have the burden of having to, you know, understand things are going on wrong." So we'll see what comes up. But if you look at a picture, and I'll send it to you, Ariel, because we're buddies, a picture of me with TJ when he first started, and no one worked harder than TJ. You know, he was a guy that took this very serious. Was always looking for advantage. He was a guy that would pour his heart out about the emotions he's feeling because of this happened in practice, that didn't happen in practice, and mentioned a lot of times about his lack of natural gifts compared to guys like me and Chad Mendez and Joseph Benavidez and Lance Palmer, and just stepping back and looking at then to now, and I'll send you the two pictures. It's nuts. So who knows? It may be a diuretic. It may be something. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to accuse or claim. But I can't say that I was ultimately very surprised. But I won't be surprised when there's a perfectly logical explanation of why he didn't do it. Right. I won't be surprised at all.
Okay, so let me ask you again: is that a fight you're interested in? Because we've talked about this fight in the past, and last time you were on the show, you said, you moved on, this and that. Of course, a lot has changed. You're a dad now, and you're feeling great, and you're preparing for this grappling match. But this has always been one of those dream matchups, I think, that people have talked about. The student versus the teacher, the former teammates, if you will. Is that the kind of fight that would get you really excited to come back, that would sort of seal this deal?
I'm gonna get myself in great shape, and of course, the most logical fight that makes sense and makes commotion is that. In the past, it's always been like this. Look, we had a relationship for a long time. Even when we weren't on great terms, it felt like a weird situation to do that fight. But at this point, I don't feel like I know the guy at all. I mean, he could be a stranger to me. I don't, I really, had a relationship with his family at that point and everything else. And I know for a fact that guy would step on his uncle's neck to get a buck, and that'd be a fight that I wouldn't shy away from, absolutely. But first things first, you don't just step in and do things. You got to prepare. I'm gonna get myself as a weapon, number one, and take everything else from there.
What about USADA? Are you back in the pool? Could you like you talked about a 3-week a 3-week notice offer, all that stuff. Could you jump in? Are you still being tested?
Yeah, I got tested. I mean, I stayed in the pool because I knew I wasn't going to do any EPO, steroids, HGH, whatever else the kids are doing these days. I just knew it was no issue for me, and you never know. So I've been in the drug pool since day one because I thought I might want to jump in. I didn't, like I said, when I retired, I was coming off of a loss to I always forget this kid's name. He's kind of a dope at this point.
Who's that?
Not Frankie. Jimmy
Rivera. Yes.
Yeah. I always forget. It's funny. I fought the guy. I always forget his name. But anyways, when I fought him, I was ranked number 2 in the world. That was my second to last fight. He won like a lackluster decision due to some, I would say a couple of ankle kicks was maybe the difference. Then I fought my very last fight. I almost got to finish in the first round. But, for me, looking at those fights, I barely got hit. I was ranked number 2, and that when I lost to Rivera, that dropped me down to, I think, number 6, maybe a number 7 in the world. And so I'm going to take a look at the lay of the land. I know that Shelby had wanted me to fight Cub Swanson he at 45s. I'll see. I'm going to talk with Dana, talk with the guys, and see what I'm at with my fight contract, how many fights I have left, and what that'll look like for me. But I've been feeling amazing, man. And this new little baby is such a motivation. We're changing the team name, Team Alpha MMA. We've got alpha males and alpha females. That's for all the ladies that have been on the team also, and the new baby girls that are popping up. I think we're getting more and more alpha dads on the team, and the times are changing.
I like it. So it's just going to be Team Alpha.
Team Alpha MMA, and then we'll have alpha males and alpha females on both sides.
I like that.
We're coming out with I'm bringing alpha male clothing and alpha female clothing back out, and we'll just have Team Alpha MMA. It's pretty cool. Our guys at Mountain Lion Aviation, they had suggested a while back, because they're really strong proponents for female athletics. They've been really instrumental in the University of Reno for female sports, and they've been a big supporters of ours. So they had suggested it also, and I really like it. So Team Alpha MMA, then we'll have our alpha males and alpha females that represent, and we'll have to figure out the gender neutral alpha in there as well. The new era.
Yes, I love that. And to be clear, you're still under contract with UFC, right? Like you can't go anywhere, but you would like to sit down. Like Urijah Faber coming back is a big deal. You need to get paid to come back, right? This isn't 2016 Urijah Faber.
It's not, that's one thing that I learned in my time off from retirement. I have one real estate deal that I tied up that could, make more than my entire career from 2011 to 2017 or 16 with just one real estate deal. Now, of course, that's not cash in your pocket. That's growing your wealth. And I've got 3 gyms now, and enjoying doing little things like this grappling and having my hand in other things. It's not necessarily about the money, obviously, but I want to sit down with Dana. Dana's, he's a guy that I can talk to and see where I stand exactly, and see what makes sense. Maybe nothing will make sense and I don't come back. I mean, there's always that.
Right. What does your gut say? You think you'll fight again?
I think so. I've always thought I probably would. I've just been putting it off, and I figure if I put it off any longer, it'll be too late. I mean, I'm 39 at this point. There's also Coach Lee Kemp, who's one of our coaches that I've talked to in length about this. He's one of the most successful wrestlers of all time, and he's in there every day with us. And that guy is 62 or 63, and he looks better than all the athletes in our gym. And it's just due to his healthy lifestyle. Never took any PEDs. Has been a guy that's just focused on health and nutrition. And he said, "Hey, look, man, if you're even thinking about it remotely, you got to go now. You got to go now." And then he said, "I would do it, absolutely."
Wow.
I would do it, absolutely.
You're giving me chills.
Joe, not every day you get a
legend. By the way, you announced your retirement on this show. It was called something else, but a long time ago you announced your retirement on this show, so I think it's only fitting that you dropped this bomb on us today.
Oh, I love being on your show, Ariel.
Thank you, Urijah. I appreciate that. I appreciate
that. It's kind of weird, like the new era constantly change. I was there for a lot of different changes in the WC and the UFC, etc. And there is a little FOMO out there, a little fear of missing out with the new ESPN relationship. I love the fact that the sport continues to grow, and we've got William Morris Endeavor behind it. Now we've got ESPN, and things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there is a little bit of FOMO out there, and it's tempting. It's very tempting to get in and get a little piece of the action.
Well, this is huge. My mom is already texting me. She's all fired up. Everyone's all fired up talking about this. This is big stuff. We'll leave it at that for now. Urijah, congratulations on becoming a dad. I know you're going to be a great dad. Congratulations to you and your partner, your whole family. I hope your dad's watching this live right now. Maybe you broke the news to him as well. This is huge. Congratulations on everything. Good luck in May against Nicky Ryan. We'll be watching that on UFC Fight Pass. And when you've signed that date to fight TJ Dillashaw, student versus teacher, once and for all, please do come back and tell us about it, okay?
Oh, yeah. We just tuned into we'll be doing our Cali cast, so you can check that out.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Urijah.
I still got to get you on, by the way. We've been lacking on that. We got to
anytime, anything for you. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Okay, same to you. Wow, Urijah Faber. Sounds like he's coming back. Who saw that coming? Fatherhood will change you. That's huge.